Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Abstract Essay, where ideas take shape, thought finds depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. One of his advocacy is being tested a natural supplement for Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and dementia, none other than Mr. Mark Burnett.
Yep.
Welcome, Mr. Burnett, on book one on abstract essay. And can you please introduce more about yourself as I guess?
Sure. Yeah, I'm getting a little music background there. It's a little hard to hear.
Yes.
Um, yeah. Anyway, my name is Mark Burnett. I'm with APDI, which stands for Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Dementia Impaired, and we make a product called My Brain Restore, which is a supplement that I've used myself for over 6 months. I had stage 3 Parkinson's, which is like one step away from being in a walker, and also Alzheimer's. So I had two of the top neurological diseases at one time. Um, I wasn't really happy with doctors and what they were giving out, the old medicines from the 60s. And so I had read about some interesting research involving a product out there that was a natural seed that was out there that they were using on mice, and they cured all the mice 100% from Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and dementia. So I acquired that product. I got it and made it in a particular way that would preserve it well, and used it for 6 months and ran in the Michael J. Fox Marathon in June and got a medal at the end. So I went all the way from not being able to walk well and tripping and falling, not remembering where I'm at, to where I'm at now, which is a good position.
And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Mark. Thank you. And today let's talk about how one man is beating Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. So tell us, let's start with the beginning. Can you take us back to the moment of your diagnosis? What is your initial reaction, and what has the conventional medical prognosis you were given?
Sure. Well, I know where my Parkinson's came from because I was born in Camp Lejeune, a military base notorious for having contaminated water. And 70%, Camp Lejeune has a 70% higher rate of Parkinson's than any other military base in the United States. So I do know where it came from. I started having problems early on, but no one could really diagnose it, nerve issues, things like that. And then eventually, as I got older during the COVID time, is when I started tripping into things, falling, couldn't control balance very well, then started getting tremors. When I finally got to a neurologist, they said, "Yeah, you have Parkinson's. That's what you got." And so what's the cure? What do we do? There is no cure. We can give you some medicine that will help cut down on the tremors, and that's about it. We just observe it and go from there. That wasn't right, sitting right with me. Born on a Marine base, you learn to be a Marine. If an enemy attacks you, attack it back. And for me, battling this was about finding what could work out there, what new science is out there. Because doctors, in the United States, the average time they spend with you is only 7 minutes, and then they got two other patients in another room. So they don't really take the time to try to figure out more advanced things or new things that are coming out. That's where I was able to move forward with what I did. And so essentially, we used the seed. In the picture there, you can see, which is an AI generated photo because we couldn't get anybody to stand in front of 1,800 fruit plants with the seed in it. But that's exactly what it looks like. In all of that goes into one jar of the actual supplement that we have. And on the right hand side, all the way, is the medal I got at the Michael J. Fox event in June in Washington, D.C. and running that. Since that time, I've been at numerous Alzheimer's events and shows and other events through the Maryland Public Television group here. In the meantime, we made our product. We started selling the product in June after I got better and my test results came back strong. Um, the one of the key things for Alzheimer's is the amyloid beta test, which is very important. My doctor said there's no way to reverse that. Google says there's no way to reverse that. However, taking my brain restore, I actually moved it in the right direction by 10%. So I'm probably the first person in the world who has ever changed that amyloid beta test result, which is pretty huge.
Interesting indeed, Mr. Mark. What was the catalyst, the specific moment or realization that made you decide to actively beat this disease rather than simply accept the prognosis?
Sure. Well, being a past, my father being in the Marines and being kind of gun ho kind of person, plus me being an entrepreneur and a database programmer by trade, that's what I did before I retired. You start with a blank screen when you're a programmer, and you have to build something from it. And that knowledge, that way of building things, is the way I looked at it. Let's just start with a blank screen. Let's go past what drugs they're giving out that aren't working, and let me look and see what's working out there. And a lot of people were doing exercise and different kinds of supplements and things like that, but they weren't getting anywhere. That's when I came across the university study that it actually cured all these mice from these diseases. But their job was to try to make it into a $10,000 a month drug that they could sell, to the big pharma groups, but they failed to do that. They could not figure out how to isolate it. But what was left over was essentially what they published and the fact that the original seed product I was able to obtain and perfect the way it's made and make it better. And that's what I started taking back in January. And in 6 months, I improved a lot. Not everyone's going to improve at that speed, but so far, other people that have started buying in since June, weirdly enough, 10% of those people that are buying are doctors themselves, physicians. I don't know how we got that many physicians involved. I don't know these people. But they're doctors. They put doctor in front of their name, and when I talk to them, they're in fact retired doctors. Um, that are suffering from the same thing. And a lot of them are reporting much better support for their particular conditions. And again, they haven't been in the program long enough to actually see the full results. But I can tell you myself, my neurologist was amazed that I no longer have tremors and that I've done as well as I have done.
Well, that is truly amazing. Mr. Mark, beating Parkinson's and Alzheimer's is a powerful praise. How do you define what that means to you? Is it halting progression, reversing symptoms, or something else?
Well, it first halted progression the way I saw it within the first couple months. And then you don't really notice things when things are normal. And that may sound strange, but when you don't bounce into a wall or you don't fall upstairs or you don't trip and hurt your toe, you don't really notice that. And for about a month and a half there, I went doing that and not realizing that I continued to take my daily dose of my brain restore. Um, and the product was working, but again, you don't notice normal. So when I thought back on, I'm like, man, I haven't hurt myself lately. I haven't banged into things. On the Alzheimer's side, I remembered why I went into a room. I remember where my keys were. I didn't get lost driving, which happened one time, which was very scary. That all went away. But all these things come where you spent your entire life that being normal, you don't quite notice it. But when you do, the impact is huge. And then all of a sudden, you start to realize how much better you're getting. And that's why I tell people, stick with it. That's why we have a subscription system at mybrainrestore.com. We're about 2 weeks, 3 weeks from being on Amazon. We've already been approved. We just had to get our labeling for them approved. So we're moving quite rapidly. Um, but it's a real turnaround. It's a support that has not been available before. There's been no product like this before out there in the supplement world. It's quite unique. And for me, it works well. And for the mice, it worked extremely well.
Your approach seems to be a powerful combination of a lifestyle intervention, Mr. Mark. Could you walk us through the key pillars of your daily protocol?
The daily pro, unlike most people who are doing a lot of exercise and things like that, I had never ran or jogged before I did the Michael J. Fox thing. So for me, that was something even my wife was like, "You're going to fall down and break your neck." And I said, no, I think I feel pretty good. I think I can do it. And I ran it and did the whole thing. So since I've done that, I have not increased exercise or anything, but some of the people who do talk to me who take the product have found that they have been able to exercise more and longer than they did before. And this makes sense if the brain is getting its dopamine being made by itself, that they may encounter that more strength in their daily routine and what they do. But for me, I'm not someone who does a lot of exercise or anything like that. I eat the food I want to eat. That really just taking the product itself works on its own. You don't really have to do anything else, out of the ordinary, which a lot of books on Parkinson's and things like that want you to do a lot of exercise or to do this or that. But in reality, it's not going to fix the problem. The problem is the brain's dishwasher effect, which is a true way that they say it. The glyphamic system in the brain clears it of what is causing the problem with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia. And this is what happened to the mice. When they dissected them, their brains were all clear. The only way they can be clear is by that system starting to work. So, what the supplement seems to be doing is supporting that system and making it work. And that, in fact, allows the brain to help repair itself.
The gut brain connection is a critical area of research, Mr. Mark. What dietary changes did you find the most significant impact on your neurological symptoms?
In the sense of changing diet, nothing. I mean, you simply mix this product in with pudding, yogurt. It's a powder. It's sort of like a protein shake, but it dissolves more readily than like a protein shake. Um, it's not based on proteins. It is based on a seed, which is milled in a certain way. So you don't have to change your diet in any way. All you're doing is adding a little dessert, a little pudding, a little yogurt, or whenever you want to take it. And it's probably better to take it more towards the evening, since that's the time the brain actually starts when you sleep. It starts to clear itself of those tendrils and things like that in its natural state when it's working properly when you're 20 years old. As you get older, that's when things like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia can appear, and a lot of those are caused by external things such as what I ran into, which was chemicals at Camp Lejeune. But people run into those chemicals all the time. If you're not a mechanic, you run into it. Dry cleaners have a 500% higher rate of Parkinson's than any other group. But you can get it by, household cleaning things. Any kind of whiteout type solution, something like that, usually contains TCE as an element. Those things are highly known to cause Parkinson's in that case. Alzheimer's is a little bit unknown, but they share the same path. So I've cured both, in my opinion, or almost there. Parkinson's is one, Alzheimer's gone. Um, and Proof is in my blood work because, again, that blood work shows whether you have Alzheimer's or not. And mine has changed in the right direction, which, again, told by every doctor and even Google, if you Google it, it is not possible to change the amyloid beta 40/42 ratio in any way. Once it goes bad, it's done. And that's the way doctors think. So if you're going to stick with a doctor only, your prognosis is you're going to get worse. I mean, they have nothing in their kit to hand you. They just don't, and that's unfortunate.
What does your exercise routine look like, Mr. Mark? How do you balance differently types of movement?
Well, in that respect, I mean, I do everything that anyone else would do normally. Maybe, you know, 30, 40 years younger than me. I can jump on a ladder and go on top of the ladder. I just was at the a huge expo up in Towson, Maryland, which is above Baltimore, Maryland, and met with some of the big hospitals there, groups that were there, and they actually put me through some Parkinson's tests where they made me balance. You stand on one foot, you put one foot in front of the other, lock them together, and try to stay balanced. Most people can't do that, even normally. uh, and you have to do a lot of different tests. When they got done doing me on those tests, they said I had the highest score of anyone at that convention, and there probably was 100,000 people at that show.
Interesting, Mr. Mark. So let's talk about the science and the mindset.
Sure.
Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, it's a central to your story. Can you give an example how you actively work to create new neural pathways?
Sure. Well, it's the fact that the tendrils and other things have essentially engulfed the brain and where the dopamine is produced in the brain. So the issue is that the problem is that those tendrils don't leave; they get stuck there. And again, this is what we saw in the mice experiments. When they looked at them, the tendrils and other problems that cause all these neurological diseases that we mentioned are stuck. They can't move. Um, these should be moving out of the body or out of the brain, should say, into the bloodstream and then into the liver, and then from there they get broken down. In this case, the reason the blood work shows what it shows is that it's showing I don't see those tendrils, and they should be there. If they're not, they're stuck in the brain. So the key is to get them out of the brain, and that's what this supports. That's what mybrainrestore.com supports. Is mybrainrestore.com actually, effectively supports that system to clean it. The brain then takes care of itself, rebuilding everything it needs to do because it's no longer got the tangles inside it. It's no longer got these tau type of things bothering it, so it can move forward. And to be honest with you, I'm as sharp as my son, and he's 21. So I couldn't say that last year, okay, but now I can. And sometimes some things in science can be incredibly simple. Um, I explain it this way. It's a very interesting way to explain it. If you compare it to scurvy was, when ships from the UK and things like that from England sailed, they would get scurvy because they'd be on the ship so long. They didn't have any vitamin C. They just ate fish and things. They had no fresh fruit. And 2 million Navy people died over their 200-year period that happened until someone figured out a simple thing like vitamin C, which they used limes, and that's why the sailors became called limeys, uh, fixed the problem. And then they could sail around, and the sailors didn't die. I don't think this is any different. I think the analogy is the same. You just have to clear the pathways so the brain can flush itself out and the brain's dishwasher can get back to work. And that's what this supports. It's just that simple.
What role has a community connection and purpose played in your healing journey? How do you think social health directly impacts neurological health?
Well, I think it, you know, it hasn't impacted my health. I think I'm impacting other people's health by us talking today and people learning about this, because this is sort of a hidden secret. This supplement, most people have never even taken this supplement. It is not a supplement that they've ever ran into. It is completely unique, and because it's unique in that way, um, we don't really have a lot of people involved in it. Now there are people that are on our website and order the product, and they even want to get together and start doing Zoom meetings and talk about how well they're doing and things like that. But we're still young and we're still growing, and we're really trying to get on Amazon, which will boost our sales even more and get us out there more. Um, but until this point, nobody's really had anything. Nothing's really worked. Some supplements that people have taken are for gut health, in the belief that that gut health, if you improve it, will help with Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. And they are correct in that those things in the gut health can cause the inflammation that causes the problem. However, once you've already gotten it and you're already in Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, changing your gut health isn't going to reverse that problem. It'll keep it from reoccurring, but you've got to get it cleared first. And so that's really the issue. And I think that's where people need to learn from us what we're doing, because everything else out there has not cured anything. I mean, nothing has. I mean, there isn't. Doctors just tell you, sorry, there's nothing I can do for you. And the rest of the community kind of looks the other way. I'm support the Michael J. Fox Association. I support the Alzheimer's Association. Our company actually donates to them, but they're working with big pharma and giving them multi millions of dollars. Um, but they're 10 years away from making a drug. What good is that going to do to people that are listening to this right now? 10 years from now, they don't remember their name. So you need to do something. And that was my thing. I did not want to get to that point. And people are really willing to try anything to fix these problems. And this made sense to me, but it had to be made properly and perfected properly. So that's where I took the time to build it myself. And there really wasn't anything else out there to turn to.
Mr. Mark, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 fourth season, and my baby podcast law 101 and mental health 101, love letters in fourth season, and music 101 and movie 101 review in fourth season, and science 101 and sex 101 in second season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Mark,
Mhm.
looking at the future of neurodegenerative disease treatment, what gives you to the most hope for the research you've seen?
Well, what gives me the most hope is the product that we have, mybrainrestore.com, is if people go on there and read it, learn it, and buy the product and start using it, they're going to see results from it. I haven't had anybody who stopped their subscriptions. They are staying on it. They're doing well. So that's what I see as the most powerful thing that people can do, because I don't know anything else out there that does what this does. If it was, I would take it. I would find it. I would have found it. I didn't. That's why I had to build what I did.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Mark. And can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, the products, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Sure. I missed that last part.
Can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, the products that you are promoting?
Oh, yeah. It's My Brain Restore is the name of the product. It's at mybrainrestore.com, or you can go to apdi.com. Either one will take you to the site. And you could read My Journey is up there, which is a book we're coming out with, which right there on the right hand side is the cover of that book. and there'll be a new version for 2026 that we'll put up. And you can order the product right there. And if you use ebook 10 as a code, I'll give you guys that. It'll give you 10% off the product. Again, it's ebook 10 when it comes up and you put it in your cart. Just hit that, and that way Daniel's site and his people listening can get a discount.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Mark Burnett because if you support him for sure, more and more empowering breakthrough to come. So, Mr. Mark, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Modicon people, see you soon.